Greetings everyone, hello and welcome back to Railway Empire 2, looking at the sleepy town of New York City in the year 1831. And yeah, New York City is going to be the centerpiece of our episode now, because we are going to make a good expansion to that. New York City has one big advantage, and that is its geographical location between the big cities Boston and Philadelphia. And we have Portland in the bigger area and also Washington, D.C. in the southern area that we have down there. So I would like to now make the first train that is really only utilizing passengers, and it's going to have several stops. So I want to make New York City to Washington, D.C. via Philadelphia possible. This is going to be expensive. The first major investment that we'll have to do is, of course, purchasing the Mid-Atlantic states. This concession is going to cost me $245,000. It's going to include 3 cities and 10 businesses that are within the area. We have 500,000. There's no more investments planned for now, so we can afford this. And let's go ahead and purchase this. And with that, we have the first territorial expansion in our game. And yeah, make this whole area here, as we can see, available now. Also, all the way down to Pittsburgh, which is a nice surprise there. I haven't even had this on my radar, because we can make Buffalo, Pittsburgh possible with that as well. Or yeah, with a lot of tunnels to Washington, but nah, we are not going to do that. I'm not crazy. Before we connect Philadelphia with New York, though, we need to make some changes in New York. And that is, we are having a line here already, of course, right? Let's just go ahead and look at that. I think we need to have the routes at this station. That is the New York City to Clark Station. No, it should be another one. It is New York City to Clark Station? To Albany, right? Yes, to Albany. Why does it say to Clark Station? It doesn't make sense, because it's going to Albany here. And if we click on that, we also get to Albany. And there it is, right? So this is the New York City Clark Station. Let's actually rename this. I think we can do this. Edit the rail line from New York City, Albany. Because, of course, that is the real name for this. Now, in New York City, we need to make one change here. I think it's already intact, though. Edit the station, and we need to say, please only use track number 2. So, yeah, that's it, right? We would have more tracks available. Don't forget, every platform would cost me 50,000. So I'm trying to keep this the minimum. So platform 2 is being used now, and platform 1 is going to for Washington, D.C. Since the line is ending here, it's fine to use only one platform, right? Because it's ending here anyway. So there's always going to be just one train from this line stopping by. And with that, that's it, right? So track number 2 is now being used. Track number 1 is not being utilized. And this is what we can use now for my next line. And then we need to go to Philadelphia, and I'm going to build me here a train station. Now, these train stations are going to be big, I think, right? So we're going to use all the power that we have to boost this. This is going to be our express passenger mail line. So we're going to add extensions to this. We're going to make those tracks really good and efficient. Let's just see. There we have it. Station in Philadelphia. I like how the city expands automatically, right? And kind of like engulfs your station into the city compound. And then we have Washington. Unfortunately, I cannot build a station here yet. You must first connect the train station in Philadelphia to your rail network before you can continue with your expansion. This is a bit questionable, to be honest. I don't know why I'm not allowed to just simply build me the train stations wherever I want them. Alright, so we need to make the connection here first, and let's go ahead. And this is, as I said, it's going to be tricky. Absolutely. First off, I think I cannot just leave here. How can I connect this one now? I would really like to use it. There it is, right? So in this grid iron, I need to make the connection happening. And of course, I want to keep the max speed. And this is going to be very expensive, I think. We're going to need a bridge over here. That bridge will cost me already 100,000. That's the only way I can think of that this is working, unfortunately. Yep. And look at that. There we have the max speed. But I'm exceeding 286,000 now, and that is all the money that I have. Holy cow, that's going to be expensive. Now, I could use that bridge that we already have here to build me the tracks, but then we would make the whole thing longer. Or, can I build me another grid iron here somewhere? Yes, this is possible. I think this is the better way of doing it. Let's change the grid iron down here. And now I should be able to get me that separation a bit earlier. There you go. And then we don't need that very expensive bridge for the moment, right? So I can just make this one work. Try to keep the max speed intact. And then I need the bridge anyway. And this bridge, as we can see, 220,000. And then I think it should be a flat remaining. Yeah, up to this point. This will cost me 300,000 in total. So I can just wait a bit, to be honest. Until we have the money in. And we can continue building it in the meantime. This is not max speed. This is max speed. And this is max speed. I think we need to do it like that if I want to continue onwards to Philadelphia. There you go. And this is max speed now through the whole line. Yeah, very tricky terrain here. A very beautiful bridge. I wonder if we can make a steel bridge out of this in the future. We'll just see. And this comes in now. So this is the ending spot anyway. We just need to make sure that for future expansions, we have the track space. So if I want to make a parallel one here, we do have that, right? On the left side. And we also need to make sure that it's on the left side here. And it is. So we can actually build this one now. 288,000. We have the money. 202 kilometers in length. And the bridge costs me almost 200,000 alone. There you go. A new connection has been made. A massive one at that. For a beautiful big passenger line. I would not like to stop here though. We are taking a loan for this. I could also just wait a couple of weeks to have the money in. I think because this is now... There's going to be a bridge here. I don't think so. Washington to Philadelphia. So yeah, let's make this work. We do need another station. In that case... Let's make sure that this station will reach the other cities, because we got quite a lot of cities surrounding it, right? So there's going to be quite a few lines from Washington then also to the other cities, like Pittsburgh over there. And I just want to make sure that we do have everything then in here. Why can I not build this? Outskirts of town, yes, of course. So there it is. And we probably will have to have it like this, right? Because then we can continue to Charlottesville down there and also continue to Norfolk. This is the best angle that we can make this work. And boom. Washington, D.C. has a train station. The president can finally go to some New York shopping. I don't see a White House. I guess he's living in the chapel for now. Of course, there's no White House back then. Let's continue. No, wait a second. 1831, there is the White House already. I think it was constructed in the 18th century. And in that case, where is it? Where's the accuracy? Alright, let's continue with that, and let's hope that it's not going to be too expensive. That looks good. Parallel to the road that we have there, right? Already pretty expensive though. And then here, 94,000. And what I can see is that we do have max speed. I would like to... Oh, there's a bridge then. Why is there a bridge? Oh. Yeah, that bridge, it was always there, I think. At least a tiny bridge we need to maintain the max speed for this. That's 99,000. $93,000. Yeah, but it's max speed the whole way. And as we can see, there is this bridge here that we have. Unfortunately, that will work. And also, another thing is, of course, this is only one track system. We should have a parallel track system for this. I think I'll need to take a loan for this. But at least this one can be built. There you go. That's the next major connection. The parallel system will cost me, strangely enough, once again, more. That's because, of course... We have here the platforms. I will need to build another platform. This costs me 100,000. Why? Why does it cost me more than before now? Is this inflation once again? It's a very strange inflation here, doubling the price. Alright, let's take a loan. 240,000 sounds about right. Very low interest rate. With 50,000 more, we would pay almost 2% more interest rate. This is crazy. Let's go ahead with the smaller one, because I think that's enough then. I don't know. Let's build the parallel system here. No, it's not going to be enough. I do not want to have a second platform here for the moment. I think we can also make this work in another way. Let's just see. Go ahead and stay here together, right? Oh, sorry, here. I think we just need to make a parallel start somewhere here, right? And I think we just need to go all the way here. This will cost me 60,000 now. Let's try to make it work like that. Can we do this? Yep. And then we have a grid iron here that connects them somehow. Alright, that is not possible. Then I will just need to do it manually. There it is, right? So entering the station, but it would reduce the speed quite a bit. It will always reduce the speed, obviously. But this is fine, or we just make it here. Yeah, that's... It's already entering the station then anyway, right? That's fine. And we save 100,000 bucks just here. And of course in Washington we're doing the same thing. Making the connection as we're entering the station. Later on we're going to have a different platform then, of course. But for now, money is tight. And also here the same thing. Once we enter the station, we can actually go... Oh, there is a possibility of having it at max speed. This is something I might actually consider. And then we are going with the parallel. This is once again going to be expensive. 116,000 because we need to extend that bridge as we go into New York Station. There you go. Right. Going in here and then there. Perfect. Let's make sure that we have the track system, the direction, right. And that is up, down. The same thing here. Going up, going down. There you go. Righto. And I think that's almost it. In New York, we probably will need a maintenance depot. That's going to be expensive again. And I definitely also need a supply tower along this very long line. Somewhere in the center here. Close to Philadelphia, we can have one. Right? That they get the water supply. And coal. That's it. Let's build the rail line. New York. To Philadelphia. To Washington. Philadelphia. And to New York again. And as we can see also, in Philadelphia there is a meat production. In New York we have the cloth production. And of course they're going to combine this, right? So they're taking some freight there with them. But it should be primarily passengers. I can force this, by the way, by saying loading express only. But I think we're going with... Yeah. Nah, let's go with mixed for now. Sorry. It's going to be an express train anyway, because it's going to primarily be passengers. The first train, 46,000, off you go. What a line. What an expensive line that is. I hope it's going to be profitable for us. Another thing I need to make sure right away in New York City, please only use platform 1, right? Doesn't make sense to use any other platform. And for the other platforms, it should be automatic anyway. Confirm this change. And that's it. Ah, it's going to be mixed. Look at that. It's primarily cloth for Philadelphia now. Interesting bunch. We probably will need more tracks for this than here. Because we're going to make a passenger and a cargo line here, of course. So this is probably going to be a 4-track system at some point. But off it goes for now. And this is going to be quite a long train line. With some beautiful landscape. The countryside of New York. Of beautiful America, that is. without weather protection, but that's only temporary. Oh, and there's also a steep incline, as we can see. Yeah. This is not the most express train for the moment. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do that much, right? We have the geography. And it's just the matter here that it's going steeply up. It's also the same thing that we have over there already. So I just have to live with it for the moment. We're going down to 7 kilometers an hour. So it's definitely not going to be... Well, it could actually still be an express train, to be honest, because that's the only incline that we have, right? And then it's just flat terrain. So on average, it should stay above 24. And as we can see in Philadelphia, it's loading passengers, but also meat for Washington, D.C. And after a bit of time, it arrives in Washington. We can now edit the rail line to add a second train to this. That is starting now in New York, while this one arrives in Washington. And that city will prosper because of that, of course. So fulfillment of demand will go up now as we deliver some meat. Oh, it also produces cloth, now that I look at it. So Philadelphia will get flooded with that. And what I can see is in Washington, primarily we have passengers and mail. This is an express train now. In Philadelphia, not a lot of people actually changed, and it's going for primary now, really just passengers and mail there, a bit of meat at the end. Foundation. Research cost of bridges is reduced. The construction cost. Let's close this. I'm not investing that much money on it for now. And the other train from New York is arriving at this moment. And what I can see is they're really well loaded. Yep. I think this is going to be a good train line for us. Breakdown. Of course, one thing in New York that I probably would like to do is the extension of the maintenance depot. Since this is going to be a hub, there's going to be lots of locomotives coming in and out. As expensive as it is, we need that. And the second expansion is then the restaurant for the ticket price increase. And with that, also New York Station is growing. And after a very long and arduous journey, my train from Washington has arrived back in New York. And it is considered an express train now, because there were so many people on board. And it was also maintaining the right speed, 27 kilometers an hour on average. There was 40,000 with just this haul. Very good money indeed. Alright, express status will... it's going to be interesting if we can maintain that express status with the incline that we have here, right? I could... Let's actually do this. Boost the speed of my locomotives. Let's boost it. And let's also increase the wages, the welfare. Does the welfare do anything? No. The wages? Also not. Alright, we cannot endlessly do this, unfortunately. And as we can see, what? There was no decrease this time. It was just rushing through. And it's now continuing with 37 kilometers an hour. So the top speed that we can have at this era. And yeah, the line just started, but my average balance, as we can see, is increasing to 70,000 per week now. And this line will pay itself off, of course, in the future. Now we could have a look around. Washington, D.C., for example, needs wool for the cloth, right? So we can just make another expansion here. It also need, let's say, logs. It would need logs. It has a steady supply. That's because the road is close by. But a train would still be profitable here. Sugar is also a possibility that we have done here, right? So there's the sugar export. We can actually make a bit of a connection here And Pittsburgh wouldn't be that far away again, but Pittsburgh is separated with tunnels, so that is the tricky one. Let's go ahead and make this work. Yeah, we'll need a platform there, right? I don't want to hinder my passenger transportation. Just with that, and I need to wait a bit for that. And yeah, with that, we continue on in the next episode with our profitable business and perhaps also some researching again. Stay tuned.